What's going on, YouTube? Well, look at here. This is one of two 140,000 BTU Mr Heater fan force diesel heaters. So the other one, I've already fixed it. It just needed a really good cleaning. This fella has a barn with show animals, and this is what he uses in the wintertime. Well, they usually just last a year, he said, which is crazy because I've got one that's 20 years old that still works fine. But upon tearing into this one, the other one was just full of this. You see what this is covered in? This is just like, I don't know, dirt, and I mean, that's what the outside shroud looks like. It's just, yeah, I don't know. But the other one just needed all of that stuff cleaned out, and the intake filter, which this one is not present, needed it cleaned out. The other one is good to go. This one, however, he said, it needs a new igniter. I broke it. Well, I pulled it off to have a look. Sure enough, one of the connections, this one here, was busted off. But it was not all lost. I was able to put a fitting or a connection on there and get it to work. Now, I have not plugged this thing in because look at all this wiring that was just shredded by mice. This is one of the igniter wires, the positive side. The two gray ones, or part of it, is photocell, and I believe the yellow was a temp sensor. But this place was also full of mouse house. So the mice had just been living it up in here in their little condominium. You can still see remnants. See all that? I vacuumed out what I could. But anyways, I've replaced both of them. See the blue and the red there? I believe that's a temp sensor. I've replaced those both wires. Replaced both photocell wires there on the other side behind the igniter. This side here is a ground, so if you look in there, it goes to right there, but it's still bare in several places, but it's a ground, so I'm not too concerned about it. But the positive side, yeah, I have replaced. Now, whether or not that wire is going to work or not, because these are more like spark plug wires, is what they're made of. They've got a really thick insulation on them. This is hanging out, and the green wire in there is somewhat chewed on. I do believe that is just a ground, but I will put a tester on that before I plug this thing in. We'll make sure. The other thing, this small red and black wire is just an indicator light on the panel. I probably won't mess with that just yet. The black's been chewed on in several places, but the red is bare in a couple, so we'll see there. But what I'm going to do, this thing's got about half a tank of diesel in it. I am going to reinstall this bracket, reinstall the circuit board, and run these 110 wires that run to an auxiliary plug on the other side of the unit, so you can plug in an extension cord to it. So get this thing somewhat back together where I feel like I can plug it in but still watch for sparks, and yeah, we'll see. The only thing I'm slightly worried about is that wire that I put on the positive igniter on the other side there. So we'll have to make sure that that is good and not arcing the ground anywhere. I don't want to, I mean, these are $500 for a new one. Not to say that this is worth anything at this point, because mice have had their way. But if we can get it running, you know, save him a couple, $200 or $300, and he can still get some use out of this one, that's great. So let me get this somewhat back together and to a point where I can plug it in and not have all of this stuff just hanging out. So I'll bring you back. All right, fellas. Well, I was wrong earlier. I cleaned this one up so we could see it a little bit. This is a 125, and the other one is a 140. So, but I've got it moved outside here. Like I said, it's got half a tank of fuel. Got her plugged in. No smoke yet. So let me turn it on. And hear the igniter. That's good. I'm not sure what that was about. Let's try again. Happened. I made a filter and I think it's a little bit too thick, so let me pull my filter out. I'll make it a little bit thinner so it can pass a little bit more air, and we'll try it again. Okay, well, I took half of the filter material out, so let's try again. Now the light's flashing. I don't know what that means. Steady off. Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3. 3 flashes means high limit switch. Okay. Well, let's try again. Maybe she needs to cool off. I do have a breeze blowing backwards through it because of the way it's sitting here, but let's change orientation here and see if we can make her blow the other way. Come on, you bastard. Alright, let me move this one out of the way. Kind of smells like there might have been a good bit of mouse remnants inside the burn chamber, but try again. Well, she's still gonna flash for me. Alright, let me let this cool off for a bit and I'll bring you back and we'll try again. Every once in a while I can see, oh yeah, there's mouse parts hanging out. No, we do. Poor fella. Come on, go. Yes. Okay, well, I am going to end the video here. Like I said, this one already worked. I just had to clean the filter, kind of blow some of the schmoo out of the inside, but The inside, if you could imagine, was worse than the outside simply because it's pulling air through there, fan forced. The fuel pressure on this one is currently at about 6.5, which I'm going to leave because this is a 140. The 125s call for about 5.5 psi. So I'm going to leave this one about 6.5. It sounds good, doesn't sound overpowered. A good steady blaze, if you will. So appreciate you guys watching. Please like and sub, and we'll catch you on the next one. Watch out for them mice.